Taiwan admits U.S. forces are stationed on islands off the coast of China, and they're likely escalating tensions. Oh, boy. Yes, we're on the brink. Guys, can you say Armageddon? Well, now hold on. Hold on. I'm not saying we're about ready to have Armageddon, but I am saying the stage is starting to be set. Now, let's just go to the book of Revelation, and then I'll read this article. But here's what Revelation says. Here's the prophecy. In the book of Revelation, chapter 16, I'll start reading at verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. And that's what's happening right now. The water of the river of Euphrates right now is dried up. You can walk across it. Certain parts of it, you can walk across the river. And they've even found steps, stone steps leading down into the way deep into the riverbed. Where'd those come from? Who put those there? What's down there? Okay, so the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. The water thereof was dried up. The way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw, and the kings of the east would include China, I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come up out of the mouth of the dragon. A lot of people see the dragon in Revelation as China. Out of the mouth of the beast, that's your Antichrist, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, we know who he is, for they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth into the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. And then Jesus says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So here's a warning just before the war. And in verse 16, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. I'm telling you, folks, right now, you need to pay attention to the prophecies of the Bible. Now, let's see what's going on over in Taiwan Chinese border. Taiwan has confirmed that the U.S. has boots on the ground on islands just off the coast of China in what could alarmingly escalate tensions in the region. The admission came when Defense Minister Chu Ku-cheng of Taiwan was asked about a report saying that U.S. Special Forces have been training in Taiwanese military on an outlying islands, including one island just 3 miles from China. According to reports, this exchange is for mutual observation, he said. The defense minister did of Taiwan. He said to identify problems we have, to figure out how to improve, and to recognize their strengths so that we can learn from them, he said, according to the report. Taiwan needs to be trained by friendly militaries because its own armed forces may have some blind spots or shortcomings. China does not appear to have addressed these remarks. They're just quiet right now, and that's dangerous. A Pentagon spokesman told the news media that he wouldn't comment on specific operations, but vowed American support for the island nation. Our commitment to Taiwan is rock solid and contributes to the maintenance of peace and stability across the Taiwanese Strait and within the region, said Lieutenant Colonel Marty Miners. It remains unclear how long these special forces have been deployed to these islands off the coast of China, but it was previously believed that the U.S. maintained only limited troops in Taiwan itself, in the main island, as the island nation would send its special forces to the U.S. to train, and then, of course, a few of our special ops and maybe some of our other guys who do the training were in Taiwan. That's what everybody assumed. But American forces are without a doubt in Taiwan, and now coming to Taiwan to train entire companies And according to Shen Ming Shi, the acting deputy CEO of the military think tank INDSR, it makes the training more complete, which I think is very meaningful, he said to the media. And while there are American special forces teaching Taiwan's forces how to strengthen its security, focusing on preventing sabotage and enemy infiltration, INSER expert Su Sing Jen said, analysts say they are likely conducting some of these training exercises to the Kinmen Islands, which is 100 miles from Taiwan's mainland, but just 3 miles from China's coastal cities. If you're bringing in a training element, you want to train where the troops are rather than have to take the entire command and move it somewhere else for political expediency, said Drew Thompson, a senior research fellow at Lee Kung Ya School of Public Policy in Singapore and former Pentagon official responsible for Chinese relations. The move to send special forces to islands off the coast of China comes amid increased hostilities in the area. And earlier this month, Taiwan's Coast Guard even claimed that 4 Chinese Coast Guard boats entered the restricted waters surrounding the Kinmen Islands, which is under Taiwan's control. It said the Chinese boats stayed just over an hour after Taiwan authorities told them to leave. China has claimed dramatically and democratically that the governed Taiwan belongs to them. China repeatedly says Taiwan is our own territory, and we strongly object to their independence. It has stepped up military activities near Taiwan in recent years, with almost daily incursions into air defense identification zones. By November, Chinese President Xi Jinping reportedly warned President Joe Biden that Beijing will reunify Taiwan with mainland China, but that the timing has not yet been decided. At the time, White House spokesman John Kirby said he would not comment on the details of that conversation between President Xi and President Biden, but said they did meet in San Francisco. But he noted that Xi has been public and clear about his desires for reunification of Taiwan. He said the U.S. would continue to adhere to its one China policy of not recognizing Taiwan as independent, and added that, as the president has said, there's no reason for this to come to blows. Well, that's a very weak endorsement. That's a very weak position the president is taking with China by saying, look, we recognize there's just only one China, a one China policy. And we're not recognizing Taiwan as its own independent nation. But they've been an independent nation, folks, since the war, since 1948. They've been independent. India went independent in 1948 from the British Empire. Okay? Israel became an independent nation by a vote of 197-0 by the whole world governing body of the UN in 1948. Taiwan became an independent nation after the war in 1948, and there's some others. In other words, there was a new order set up after World War II.